Hello friends, welcome to the stream on social justice, equity and harmony. This is a stream which involves a lot of discussion and sharing of perspectives. Of course, in governance, there are no concrete solutions to societal concerns. Much depends on the way we address these concerns. The larger concern is social justice and how to ensure equity and harmony in society. With this backdrop, let me first outline the main objectives of the stream. The three objectives of the stream include to understand the nature and dynamics of discrimination and exclusion from Ambedkar's perspective, to examine current strategies for ensuring social justice and inclusion in the Indian context, to explore ways and means for building a fair, just and harmonious society. The basic contents of the stream include social justice, basic premise, equity and equality, critical dilemmas, stigma and exclusion, consequences of exclusion, how to bring justice and harmony in a deeply diverse society, and we would also focus on some government schemes. One such would be Accessible India campaign, which is also referred to as Sugamya Bharata Abhiyan, and we would also focus on social inclusion and Ambedkar's perspective and contextualizing the ideas of liberty, equality and fraternity in New India, and finally we would also touch upon the agenda of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas and Sabka Vishwas. Let us start with the first topic, that is social justice, basic premise. The ideas about justice as well as social justice are quite complex and indeterminate. Some related concepts that would come up for discussion under social justice include matters of exclusion, why inclusion, the need for inclusive development and inclusive governance, growth versus equity and harmony, and affirmative action. What is the basic premise of social justice? It is all about emancipation of the underprivileged, exploited and oppressed sections of society. It is liberating mankind, especially in the Indian context, from traditional bondages of social and economic exploitation and discrimination. Hence, social justice postulates a social order which can guarantee freedom and equal rights to all sections of society. The essence of social justice is embedded in the preamble of our Constitution. The fundamental values of the Constitution could be drawn from the preamble. The fundamental values cover sovereignty, socialism, secularism, democracy, republican character, justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, dignity of the individual, and unity and integrity of the nation. When we discuss social justice in Indian context, it is important to look at Ambedkar's views on democracy. He attached a lot of importance to social democracy. To him, democracy is not just a political arrangement, but essentially a form of inclusive society and a mode of associated living. He sought to achieve social justice and social democracy in terms of one man, one value. He considered social justice as true basis for patriotism and nationalism. He considered that citizenship requires a sense of belongingness without which the worst kinds of socio-political detachments take place. Social justice is possible through social inclusion. What is social inclusion? Social inclusion is the development of capacity and opportunity of individuals to play a full role not only in economic terms but also in social, psychological, and political terms. It is pertinent to draw from the famous Nobel laureate Amartya Sen's capabilities approach. Sen considered development as expansion of people's capabilities. Human well-being is a multi-dimensional phenomenon. The quality of life that individuals are able to achieve is more important. People are both means and end of development. The purpose of development is to enrich human lives and not the richness of economy. There are many factors that influence human capabilities which need to be considered and understood for our discussion. Poverty is not just absence of income, it is absence of inclusion, absence of power, and absence of voice and choice. It is deprivation of basic capabilities. Inequality and social exclusion are two common side effects of current growth economic model. Poverty is multi-dimensional process necessitating a multifaceted development approach. The emphasis should be on good social outcomes. It is not enough to keep development as the goal. Development should be at the socially desirable level. The United Nations definition of inclusive society is based on respect for all human rights and fundamental freedom, cultural and religious diversity, social justice and the special needs of vulnerable and disadvantaged groups, and democratic participation and upholding the rule of law. Social justice is realized when equal opportunities for people from different walks of life are provided, when equal individual and social rights and freedom are achieved. In a developing country like India, social justice can be related to distributive justice. The main problem in India is not the scarcity of resources, but the unjust distribution of resources among the people. In the words of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who tried to turn the wheel of the law towards social justice for all, I quote, "If you ask me, my ideal would be the society based on liberty, equality, and fraternity. An ideal society should be mobile and full of channels conveying a change taking place in one part to other parts." Ambedkar believed that the road to social justice is to be led by education, which is a panacea for all social evils and injustice. Ambedkar relentlessly fought against caste and injustice, struggled hard to secure human rights for all, and he wanted to vitalize the conscience of the people and mobilize the masses in India to fight against injustice. His ultimate aim was to establish real social democracy. He firmly believed that a democratic form of government presupposes a democratic form of society. Social justice is based on four principles: the foundation of a free society, recognizing equal worth of all citizens. Everyone is entitled as a right of citizenship to be able to meet his or her basic needs. The right to self-respect and personal autonomy demands the widest possible spread of opportunities. Not all inequalities are unjust, but unjust inequalities should be reduced and wherever possible eliminated. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the first President of India, remarked in the Constituent Assembly, and I quote, "Whatever the Constitution may or may not provide, the welfare of the country will depend upon the way in which the country is administered. That will depend upon the men who administer it." After all, Constitution, like a machine, is a lifeless thing. It acquires life because of the men who control it and operate it, and India needs today nothing more than a set of honest men who will have the interests of the country before them. Granville Austin, an American historian and a leading authority on Indian Constitution, stated that the Constitution can be summarized as having three strands. Firstly, protecting and enhancing the national unity and integrity, establishing the institutions and spirit of democracy, and fostering a social revolution to better the lot of Indians. Maintaining a harmony among the three strands has presented a great challenge for the Indian state. I conclude with the words of Helen Keller. Until the great mass of the people shall be filled with the sense of responsibility for each other's welfare, social justice can never be attained. Thank you.